Hello and welcome to the first lecture of this new section on using the four-layer skill model for mastering learning online. So in this section, we will help you learn how to use this four-layer skill model for developing and implementing an effective and efficient online learning plan continuously for a successful career and life. A lot of things. How to develop, how to implement, a plan that is effective in terms of getting you what you want, efficient in terms of using your money and time, a continuous plan for a successful career life. So, a lot of things. So, it's going to be a long section. And in this lecture, particularly, we'll give you an overview of that. And as we go forward, we will explain each of these elements in this given in this overview for which with which you can use this four-layer skill model and develop and implement an effective and efficient online learning plan continuously. So how do you think you can use this four-layer skill model? Any thoughts on that? You know, using a four-layer skill model means organizing your learning so that you build a balanced, future-ready professional profile. Instead of learning randomly, you divide your development into four continuous layers. Four layers that you see here, and you learn them together and improve each layer steadily because of many reasons that you will see here, but primarily, if you learn these four together, you learn it much better. You learn to have an integrated learning, right? And this will make your learning systematic, efficient, and sustainable over a long period of life for a successful career and life. So that's why you should use this four-layer learning model. Now, what are the specific things to use this four-layer skill model that we will give you a quick overview now and then explain in the rest of this section. So you start by defining your core domain, the layer one. That's where you decide your main field. And these main fields could be management, could be marketing, data analytics, software development, finance, HR, or anything else that you decide as your main domain, main field. And if your main domain, for example, is management, there are two things to do. One is to choose what's your core domain, and second, then to figure out what all to learn in that core domain. So, if your core domain is management, then your layer will include things like planning, decision making, performance management, organization design, and financial basics. And this will become your professional identity. Without this layer one, other layers will not even stand. They'll remain weak. So define your core layer first. Then you add AI and digital skills in the second layer. Second layer supports layer one. It answers one key question. How can technology make me better in my field, in my domain that I've selected? Say, for example, if you've chosen management as a core domain and if you choose AI as technology, then the management plus technology together can help you use this AI for some decision support, build a data bat, build and use data dashboards, do process automation, and do AI-based reporting. So you see here that layer two will multiply the learning of layer one, and that's where the integration is critical again, right? Then you add business thinking. Layer three helps you think at a higher level. You learn strategy, market analysis, risk thinking, financial impact, systems thinking, and this will transform you from a worker to a decision maker. And here can learn from ideas influenced by thinkers like Peter Drucker, who help build strategic perspective. So add the business thinking in the third layer. The fourth thing that you need to do is to add human skills. This layer builds long-term success because in the long term, it's the human skills which are the most important. And there you can learn things like communication, leadership, emotional intelligence, negotiation, ethics. And these skills will remain valuable even with AI or even after AI. So add human skills. Then you need to divide your learning time. Once you decide these four layers, then you need to divide your learning time, isn't it? A practical distribution would be, you have a weekly learning cycle in which you could look at, if you study 6 hours a week, Layer 1, you could devote 40% of the time. Layer 2, you could devote 25, 3, 20%, and layer 4, 15%. So if you're, as an example, if you're spending 6 hours every week, you spend 2.5 hours on core skills, let's say of management, then 1.5 hours on AI tools that you select, 1 hour on strategy, and 1 hour on communication. And this keeps your learning balanced. And balance is critical because life, as you will see or you already seeing, is that you need to have all these skills together. Then you rotate learning focus, and that's where your learning become much more sustainable. If you keep studying one thing in one go, you will get bored, and your whole idea will be, let me complete this without even learning properly. So you don't need to learn everything every day. You rotate by week. So in an example of a month, in week 1, you could focus on layer 1. Week 2, you could focus on layer 2. Week 3, you can focus on, layer 3. And week 4, you could focus on layer 4. But keep small continuity in all layers. Focus is layer 1, but that doesn't mean that you don't learn anything else in week 1. So keep your focus, devote chunk of time, but as you get bored, rotate. And that's a wonderful principle. If you get bored of doing something, go to another layer and learn there and come back and go to the next one, keeping in mind the overall percentages that we talked about. Then integrate the layers as I was saying, because real learning happens with layers combined, right? Now, let's take an example, management example. Supposing your management problem, if you want to solve, is to improve team productivity. And that's the way you can integrate the layers. You take a problem, which is a real life problem, let's say this, and then you see the layers in it and integrate them. The layer would be performance management methods. You learn about the performance management methods. Then you'll see what are the AI productivity tools in improving productivity and learn about them. Then you learn about the cost benefit analysis as part of strategy. And then you look at human factors of motivating employees. And then you make all layers work together to have the integrated learning, which is much more enjoyable and productive as well as sustainable. Then you can use these layers to choose your courses. Now, currently, when you enroll before a course, you choose them randomly. You say, hey, I like it. So choose it emotionally. So now what you need to start doing is before you enroll into a course, you need to ask question, which layer does this belong to? Say, for example, if this course is AI for managers, the layer would be layer 2. If it is course is strategic thinking, obviously it is layer 3. If it is leadership skills, it's layer 4, the human skills. And it is only operations management, then it's layer 1. Now, what this will do is this will prevent the random learning. And as you will learn, connecting your courses to layers has a lot more value than simply only doing courses randomly. Then you maintain a continuous growth. Each layer grows at a different speed because of the complexity, the richness that you need to have in that. The typical patterns are, in the first 2 years, you would look at layer 1. So, in 2 years' time, starting from time zero, you would spend time in doing the course domain skills. Now, in next 3 years, you could then look at layer 2 and layer 3 of digital and AI augmentation and business and strategic thinking. So 3 years would go into that, right? And then for human advantage skills, you need a lot more time again later on. So that's where you keep doing it, but you do all layers at the same time. The the completion or the you could say the completion of each layer would vary depending on actually human advantage skills you keep learning all your life. Every day interaction will teach you every day something new about how to deal with humans. Then you are ready to build a personal learning map. Say, for example, if you could be building a leadership management excellence in layer 1, you could be doing AI augmentation management in layer 2. You could be doing strategic decision making in layer 3 and leadership development layer 4, in level 4, in layer 4. And this becomes your lifelong learning structure. If you focus on this itself, it will take you a few years. to learn fully in management excellence, in AI augmented management, strategy, and leadership. This is a lifetime of work on your plate, right? So build a personal learning map like this. So let's see this visually in a simple model. So think of your career as a building, right? It's a building, multi-layered building. And there the foundation is your layer one, naturally. Then technology floor is your layer two, strategy floor is layer three, and leadership floor is your layer four. And strong buildings need all floors, don't they? So what is the key thing to remember? See, the key thing to remember is that the most professionals either stagnate or fail if they focus only on the first two layers, foundation and technology floor. There's a limit to growth there. So that's key thing to remember. Now, the professionals who continue growing, the people who reach the top or are reaching the top, not only focus on the foundation and technology floor, but they focus on strategy and leadership floor because there is no limit to growth there, right? So that's the key thing to remember. So let's define it simply. Let's say it simply once again. Using the four-layer model means organizing your learning so that you simultaneously build expertise, technological capabilities, strategic thinking, and human effectiveness. So simultaneously developing these four dimensions of your learning for a successful career in life is what we have simply in this section for you. So what do we do next now? What else? We begin. We begin by taking a look at first how to define your core domain because that's the first step, right? How do you choose between management, marketing, data analytics, software development, finance, HR, or anything else? What is it that core functionality, core area, domain that you will build your foundation on? And that's the question we will answer in the next lecture. So thank you so much for watching the first lecture of how to use the four-layer skill model. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy. And I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.